Welcome to O-Talkin' with Dave. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? I hope you're doing great. I am top shelf and ready to go. And I've been talking to some people about things in their lives that they put out there just in case. We call them fail-safes. I call them feel-safes just because we all have so much going on. Anything can happen at any time. Unpredictable. Some are very predictable. But what do we have about it? What's that safety net out there that you don't think about it until you need it? Just for example, it's been months now, maybe even a year. I was on a flight and we were going into Denver. And what happened was the plane hit turbulence as you get to the edge of the mountains. So usually you circle, you do whatever, but we hit turbulence. And this wasn't a little jostle. This was a shaker, man. It got your attention. It wasn't just that, please fasten your seatbelts. No, it was grab your armrest and pray time. Man, I fly a lot, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Other people were going nuts, but I was feeling a little nervous. I was feeling a little tingly. And then the plane dropped to the point to where you could hear what was in the overhead rattling, hitting. And you got different reactions from different people. But the captain came over the speaker, calm as if he was at a Starbucks ordering some coffee, which I think they are trained to do. I got a lot of pilot friends. I'm going to ask them, what do they put you through, man? How do they do that? Or do you have recordings you just hit? Because usually when they do the pre-flight announcements or even when they tell you how they're flying, which I don't understand. Dude, you're driving. I don't need to hear the GPS. It's usually mumbled or garbled. But when this comes on, man, they are articulate. And I remember he came on and said something like, ladies and gentlemen, we've engaged our alternate hydraulic system. What? This aircraft is designed with multiple fail-safes, and we'll be landing safely in Denver. Oh, that's all I needed to hear. I don't need to hear about hydraulics and hieroglyphics and all of that. But bottom line is, 5 minutes later, the turbulence, it was still there, but the tension was gone because we had been reassured. We have fail-safes in place, and we'll be landing safely. We weren't safe because nothing went wrong. We were safe because the plane was built to fail safely. Big thing. Fail safely. That's when it hit me. Most people don't live like that. We all hit turbulence. And a lot of times we just hope. Hope is not a strategy. That's it, man. You think about engineering. The engineering, which I don't get it. I don't get engineering. To me, engineering is the guy that does the plane, the train. He's the engineer. And I deal with engineers a lot in a lot of what I do. And I've learned they don't take black and white. I'm sorry. They don't take gray. It's black and white. This is what it is. I can do the math. I can back up everything I do with figures and math and science and all of that. But in engineering, a fail-safe is designing a feature that's it's gonna ensure something when something else fails, and it will. The system defaults to the safest possible outcome. Now I know what pops in my mind when I talk about this is the Titanic. They had so many fail-safes. Fail-safe after fail-safe. I've seen all the documentaries. I've seen it all. That ship was meant to sink. They had a fail-safe for everything unless the ship cracks in half, which is basically what it did. But in life, a fail-safe it's a pre-decided safeguard. I call it a feel-safe. A fail-safe is in place. All right, I feel safe. I know worst case scenario, here's the outcome. Yeah, it's a plan. It could be a habit. It could be a boundary you put out there before something goes wrong. So you don't have to figure it out in a panic. No, that's not a good time to determine anything when you're panicked. So it's not fear having a fail-safe in place. It's not fear. It's actually freedom because you've already made the decision and you know what to do or know what will happen. All right, we get it, Dave. That's fantastic. You live in a world that's unlike any other world. No, that's not true. Randy in Eastern Kentucky, I know what you're thinking because you hit me with this the other day. David, all you do is get on here and talk common sense. Everybody knows this stuff. Okay, I get it. But Randy, 78% of people admit they only make a backup plan after something goes wrong. Meaning, all right, this happened. I was screwed, blued, and tattooed. All right. It's time to have a backup plan. Common sense would say that's too late, but it's better than not doing one at all. 50% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing money somewhere. Okay, that's not a fail-safe or a feel-safe, by the way. People without boundaries, setting things up to keep danger away or to keep security in, have 37% more stress-related health issues. And teams without contingency plans have a failure rate higher than 60%. So it's everywhere. It's home, work, and play. And I'm going to talk about it. But we're even talking about mental health safety nets. If you don't have those in place, your risk for burnout or being fried at homework and play doubles. And I can tell you where these statistics come from. I'm just letting you know. Having a fail-safe/feel-safe will reduce your worry. It will reduce your stress, and it will reduce your good decision making when you're panicked, because you will be. Trust me, it's going to happen. So where do fail-safes matter most? Let's just talk about at home. That can be an emergency fund. I know Dave Ramsey talks about 3-6 months, something like that. That's tough. That's tough at certain times. Yeah. Okay. So you have that there just in case something happens. Some people have a line of credit or a special credit card or something with some funds in case they need money quick now. Ooh. All right. If you've got that, okay, that's a contingency. That's a fail-safe. Okay. I don't know that we do this at home as much, but you should. All right. What if you wake up in the middle of the night and smell smoke? All right. Go out that door and stand there till the family gets here. Pretty simple, right? It's simple. Have you done it? I haven't. I think one time we were somewhere. Oh yeah. It was when we first moved to Orange County, and we had a subtle, some more than others, fear of earthquakes. Okay, if we have an earthquake, here's what we do. All right, there was a fire hydrant at the end of the block, which is like 4 houses down. Boom. If anything collapses, everybody go there. I know if you're not there, you're still in the house. Sleep tight, kids. I'm laughing. It's not funny, but I mean, it's funny. Okay, a digital backup for your documents. It's crazy not to do this. How many times has my laptop died and I can't get back in it and I lost everything? More than I'd like to admit. And so I thought I had lost everything probably 6 months ago again. I mean, no more. I got on Amazon and ordered a 2 terabyte external hard drive for $50. 50. I don't know the name of it, but it's pretty cool. Plug that bad boy in and it automatically updates every day. I don't think about it. And usually I didn't think about it before I had a scare, but then it's, where is it? Oh, panic. Not only because I've lost everything, I don't even know what everything is. Boom. $50 worth the time up here. Everything, home records. We put all our pictures on there. Steph had 2,000, 4,000 pictures on her phone. No wonder she had no memory. Anyway, all on there. And I put everything I own ever archived, every thought, every memory, every whatever. I'm not even up to a quarter of a terabyte. So, yeah, quick fail safe. And then A lot of it is just agreeing on things. And this is very general. Just agree on stuff. If this happens, this is what we do. If this happens, here's what I have in place. It can be life insurance. It could be if your kids go away to college and this happens or that happens. Here's what we're going to do. And the thing is, you need to share that at home because somebody may think about it and freak out and make a decision when, no, we got that. Here's our fail safe. You can feel safe. Very important. So let's talk about work. Oh, one of the things I learned early on is anything can happen. Your best employee can go away tomorrow, leave, win the lottery, get hit by a bus. Who knows? What are you going to do? A lot of people don't prepare for this. I know there's a lot of older workforce out there, people 35, 40 years in one spot retiring. They can't write down everything they know on the way out. They don't even know everything they know. It's tribal knowledge. It's experience. What's a fail-safe? Cross-train people. Put somebody with them. If you got somebody that's pushing 60 or early 60s, have somebody watch them, talk to them, follow them around. They'd probably annoy the heck out of them, but that way you're covered. Put 3 people, rotate them, because everybody's going to see something different. Because that person that's close to retirement, probably not doing that because they're old school. They're like me. I just know, here's what I do. This happens, I do this. And this is serious. I don't care if it's white collar, blue collar. I don't care what color your collar is. If you don't have a collar, it's important. In documenting processes. And it was so annoying when we were going through different things at one of the companies, and they were going through, and whether it's Six Sigma or whatever. Every process needs to be documented because you need a contingency. You have a backup. You have a fail-safe. When this happens, when you're bidding a lot of information, okay, here's my go-to person. What if they're not there? Who's number 2? All right, what if they're not there? I'm like, are we talking about in line for the presidency? What are we doing here? It's a documented process of what and who. It's a fail-safe. And it makes everybody feel safe. Also, when there is a problem, how do we escalate this? I tell people constantly, even when I've had direct reports, I am perfectly okay with you going over my head. There's a chain of command. However, you need to get the answers that you need so you can feel safe. However, there is a set problem escalation path. Have that so people know what to do. Remember, mental health, burnout, freak out, whatever it is, having these processes and fail-safes in place, that's important. And then at work, everything I've got, every project I do for anybody, at home, work, I really don't do stuff like that at play. But anyway, automatic backups. Boom, to the external hard drive. Whether I've got 50 spreadsheets open, 50 Word document, whatever. Auto save. That's a fail safe. How many times have you closed something and didn't save it and you go back and it's, wait a minute, something's missing? Automatic. Put them in place. These don't have to be, they can be terribly sophisticated, but they can be simple to you. And then one of the most overlooked things are fail safes for play, for you time. Some of the ones I use, my goodness, I've got everything. I'm a Hilton guy. They are not a sponsor, but they could be. I'm Hilton, Southwest, and I use a couple of different cars. I'm having some trouble with my rental people, so I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to give them advertising and screwed me recently. But anyway, I have all of those. So I have my email reservations. I have the apps with them on there. If I want to print something out with a barcode, I do that. Just fail safes in case my phone runs out of battery. I can't do my laptop. I'll have it. I'll have it in a folder. Usually I have a folder of my travel documents just in case. I don't have to open all this stuff on the plane. If I need to, I'll pull that folder out, review. Here's how I'm getting there. Here's what I'm going to see. Here's the program. Here's how I'm getting back. Boom. Done. Yank. A lot of times it can be one page, but I usually use it on my phone. The written is the fail-safe, okay? But when I go to play, I'm telling you, man, we went to Jamaica back a couple of months ago, and we haven't had a vacation, me and Steph, in a long time. Whew, I had fail safes in place, but they were numbers, names, numbers, saved information that I can find on the fly very quickly. I had backup. So if the ride from the airport doesn't show up, I've got this guy too. So we're not just sitting there wondering what happens. Check the weather. I know what that's going to be. What do we need? What are the chances of this? What are the chances of that? Do I need first aid stuff? Do I need this? Mostly sunscreen for the chrome dome. Anyway, Advil. You need Advil because I work out a lot. I can't even do that to myself there. But also you have to budget time. And part of fail safes are putting buffers in there. I don't want to do anything. However, I don't want doing nothing to get in the way of doing something if I want to do something. So you put time in there. You budget different times, even in the play. It's what we've talked about. A time cap on things. Look, we're going to do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go there and we're going to stay an hour. If we're having a good time, we're going to keep going. But when we get bored, here's what I'm going to say to help us leave. That way we're on the same page. No feelings hurt. No problem. We give each other with a look. We can say, let's get out of here. Here's what we'll say. Stuff like that. It's common sense, Randy. I know that, but still do it. Do it. Also, okay, events, fun stuff. I'm going to go play golf. Okay, I got to prepare. So what do I do ahead of time? I know I'm going to need this and this. I borrow this sometimes. Next time, I'm not going to borrow that. I'm going to have that because that really, it hurt my game. It hurt my enjoyment. It hurt this. Put a fail safe in place. If I don't use it, it's there. And it's not perishable. So that kind of thing. You put them in place. So let's think about some areas at home, work, and play where it makes sense to put in a fail safe. Not out of paranoia, but just so you're not caught flat-footed and you panic and now you got to make a decision. You know what happens when a power outage? We don't have those much out here. Let me knock on wood. We haven't had those much out here, and you'd think we'd have power problems in Vegas, but no. In northwest Alabama, we would have thunderstorms, and all of the utilities are above ground where I lived. Still are in a lot of places. So you'd have power outages constantly. A storm comes through, can knock all this stuff. All right, what's the fail-safe? Simple stuff, a flashlight, batteries. Mom had candles. It was creepy, man. The power would come out. The power would go out, and maybe I didn't know it because it was at night. And I'm a kid, and here comes my mom and dad walking through the house with a candle glowing. And I just woke up to that, terrified. But different things now. You got different things. A battery backup, all these kind of things. So, all the way down to matches and 2 sticks to rub together if you need to build a fire place. If anything is disturbed, fire safety, what have you got in place? Home security. Okay, you lock the door, just the knob? No, you have a deadbolt. You got security cameras. Backup. Maybe you put a key with a neighbor. I was talking to somebody the other day. And they were saying, yeah, just let a neighbor know. I don't know my neighbors right now. I've lived here 2 years. I know Dave across the street. You know how I know Dave? Because his name's Dave. Hey, Dave. How's it going, Dave? Probably 4 or 5 times a month. Yeah, I don't know anything about Dave. Because when we were in San Diego, our house there was 10 to 20 people there 24 hours a day. And so we're a little more reserved here. And it's hot. People stay in their house. But maybe you leave a key with a trusted neighbor in case you lock yourself out. What do you do in case you lock yourself out of your car? You lock your keys in your car. There's have a fail safe. You don't want to use it, but you can. Medical stuff. Shellfish allergy. I have got an EpiPen in my glove compartment and in my travel bag. I'm always around one of them. Yeah, or at home too, but if I'm home, it's no big deal. That kind of stuff. Insurance. Think about that. You can do a quick 5-minute walk through your house and just video every room real quick. You don't have to say anything. And save that file to a file on your computer. That's backed up and boom. Somebody breaks in. You've got an inventory. You don't have to write it all down. Some people like to write it down. So fail safes. At work, I talked about the data backup. I talked about cross-training. Emergency contacts. Isn't it important right now to have emergency contacts? Don't just leave it up to HR. It might not be a health emergency, but it might be, okay, we got a presentation in 20 minutes. Joe's not here, and Joe's giving the presentation. He's not answering his phone. He's not answering his email. I got to call somebody. Joe's wife, Joe's daughter, Joe's dog, something. It's important to have that, for your employees, your clients, vendors, all of that stuff. What if tech fails? You've got the backup. You need a laptop. What can you put on your phone and your laptop? What is this what's it called? Dual certification. That's the wrong word. I know this. I do have it on all my stuff. I always get the text and put that code in. Redundancy in there. But that is for security. It's a fail safe, so I don't have to worry about somebody stealing my stuff at home or at work. And then just having a fail safe of how are we going to communicate? Who do we call when this happens? What do we say? I love that. I used to do it in sales all the time. You can make a lot of money. You go to a customer and say this, Mr. Customer, blah, blah. We call it reading your card. It's simple, and they do it until they don't have to have the card, and then 10 years later, they're wildly successful, and it starts with read the card. That's the way crisis communication is a lot of times. Okay, this happens. Call this number and say this. Great for kids, but it's also great for workers who may get panicked or nervous or lose it. It can be on a card. It can be on an email. You file it under emergencies, blah, blah, blah. Also, just a financial cushion. Any company who doesn't put a financial cushion in, they're a company that's doomed to fail. This can be home too, but I know a lot of times when I've worked with companies who had to deal with proposals or quotes or something like that. All right, they have capital expenditures, and then they have the emergency fund. The emergency fund is their buffer. And it's predicted. Different organizations will do different percentages. We've got a 20% emergency fund. We've got this. And they learn to use it. They learn to use it because if they don't use it by the end of the fiscal year, they're probably going to lose it, which is crazy. Have a contingency for the emergency instead of cutting the emergency fund. My goodness. It's like somebody finding my stash of do-si-dos. I go there and they're gone, man. I only go there when I really need one. So let's talk about some stuff with the play or personal life. I've talked about the travel and the different things there. If this doesn't work out, I've got that. If they don't have the car, I can do this. If I can't get a rental, I can Uber. All of these things, but build it in. Have backup plans. If I'm going to play golf and it rains, what do? I still want to spend time with the guys. Here's what we can do. You got a picnic. How many people have had a picnic rained out in the South? Everybody. That kind of thing. I talked about it, safety gear, different things. You're going out for sports. What do you need? Are you going to a ball game? Are you going to play a ball game? How do you handle things that could happen? I usually do this and I get a headache. Or what if I have what Steph calls a sinking spell with blood sugar or something? Okay, I have this. I have a little snack. I have some juice. Contingencies. Always have a little cash stash. I was actually caught without that recently. I spent it and I didn't replenish it. Just have it there just in case. Just in case. And then a contact network. Check in. Let somebody know. You don't have to tell them everything, but hey, man, I'm going to be gone for a few days, so I'll hit you up Friday. If I don't call you, will you call me? Easy. You can do it by text. Hey, man, I'm going to be out for a couple of days. If I don't text you Friday, text me back because I want to tell you about my trip. All you're doing is put a contingency in case something happens. You do. You may be by yourself. You may be with a group still. But it's a feel safe. So let's talk about the mental fail safes. Remember earlier we talked about the burnout risk doubles if you don't have these in place. It drags you into drama. drama or panic or just decisions in the heat of the moment. A lot of these come from reacting to things, and a lot of that is a proactive move. Hey, this is a great deal. I better jump on this. All right, you need a fail-safe for that too. Sometimes you need fail-safes and feel-safes when catastrophe strikes, but you also need to calm you down so that you don't create a catastrophe by making a quick decision that's emotional or whatever. So a few things. First of all, if it's a big decision, man, make a 24-hour rule. If it's not urgent, if it's not life support or something like that, give yourself a full day. Most emergencies, they look different when that adrenaline wears off. I've stated recently where we got some very disturbing news and almost made what could have been irreversible decisions based on incorrect information. Within 8-9 hours, we found out that information we heard was not true. Not only was it not true, its negativity was exaggerated. Once we found out the truth, I'm glad we didn't go with that option. It wasn't necessary. So give it some time. I say 24 hours. Once you're probably going to get clarity. And when you do, hug clarity. Give it a big old hug and kiss on the jaw. Because clarity is very important. Also, look at the source. Where's this information coming from? Verbal, written, email, whatever it is. Before reacting, is this coming from some reliable sources? Is it coming from somebody who has their motives, or they're in chaos themselves, or maybe they're reacting to a lack of fail-safes? And adjust your emotional investment, which is your mental health, in that. Think, okay, I remember my mom used to always say, consider the source. Consider the source. Usually, it was the person. She didn't like them anyway. Yeah. And then we've talked about feelings. I'm not a big feeling guy. But what I'm talking about is label it correctly. We talked earlier about, am I hurt or am I scared? Those are important because a lot of things come back to that, long-lasting things like that. You're hurt or you're scared. But maybe you need to name it. I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm anxious. I'm nervous about this. Or maybe it's, I'm ashamed or I'm embarrassed. When you can name that emotion, it creates a distance between you and the crisis. And you talk to it and it's, okay, I'm angry. That means I'm probably not logical. I'm embarrassed, which means, okay, this is skewing my judgment here. That kind of thing. So name it. And that might help you with the pause. Here's a big one for me. I've got an O-Talk coming up about let them be wrong. Let them be wrong. Get it? And I'm not stealing Mel Robbins' let them. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about my propensity to want to fix it or correct the record. Whew. My wife is going to love that one because most of these is what's wrong with me. Anyway. But the point I'm making is you need to decide, is this yours to fix? Is this your problem? And if it isn't, why are you getting mentally strapped about someone else's crisis? And we got friends, we got people we love, and I get it. But a lot of drama becomes irrelevant when you realize it's not your circus. Those aren't your monkeys. Those are clowns. Yeah. There's a lot of one, and pausing also helps with that. Look, even if I fix it, I'm not in control of it, and it can happen again. So, just take a minute. Also, it's called the 3 times test. Okay, it won't matter in 3 hours, 3 days, or 3 years. It's not worth you giving up your peace now. So, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 years. We can forget about it. Everybody else won't even know what's going on. You probably won't either. You'll just remember, remember when I did all that and it didn't even, blah. Yeah, I know. It happens. It's a fail-safe. It's a feel-safe. Also, Our brains. How about our brains, man? You got to switch the channel. When your brain gets stuck replaying a situation in a loop, physically change your environment. Stand up, go for a walk, call somebody and talk about something else. Sometimes if I can't sleep, I'll scroll. I don't really advise that because they send you somewhere else or it can support that. But your brain can switch channels if you let it. If you don't, it's almost like getting a song on your mind and you can't get it off and you can't sleep. You wake up and that song's playing and what do I do? Okay, same way with a problem or a challenge or a difficulty. Get your brain to change the channel because you're not in resolution mode. You're spiraling. You need a fail safe for that. When this happens, I'll do this. Yeah, it's a trigger. Also, this is big and it's a nuance, but once you get it, you got it. And that is, instead of judging, default to curiosity. Instead of instantly deciding someone's wrong or someone made a mistake or someone's doing this maliciously, wonder why they might be acting that way. I'm curious. Curiosity buys you time. If you know that person, it's not really like them. Oh, something's going on. I'm curious. That's why it's great to, are you okay today? You're a little bit quieter than normal. You got a lot on your mind. Anything we can do? How about a piece of pie? You want to go have? So change that judgment to curiosity. I'm curious about a lot of things right now. Keep an internal script. Calm, neutral, go-to line. I hear you. Let's circle back when we both had time to think. Good. I hear what you're saying. Let me think about that, and I'll get back to you. You bring up a good point, and I haven't thought about it that way. Let me give that some thought, and I'll come back to you. I got some other stuff on my mind too, but I want to spend time thinking about that, and I'll get back to you. That keeps you from blurting something out you're going to regret. Oh, yeah? Boom. Oh, is that the way you feel? You remember the time? And the ones where somebody's saying offensive or stuff to you. Oh, it's fantastic. There's so many great responses, but they all deal with calm. That's why fail safes are important, to keep you calm rather than spider monkey reaction. Also, your core values have to be solid. And when they are, there's a good anchor there. When tempted to lash out, I don't have to apologize to a bunch of people, or I don't have to back up, or people are watching and how to react to things and how's this going to reflect on that. And this may feel good for a minute, but the fallout, the ripple effect. A split second can change your next move if you wait a second. Don't react. Respond. Don't react. And then this is something, and it's probably true. I heard a stat about Vegas that you're, and I forget the stat now, but it's a lot. You're on camera like 1,200 times a day in an 8-hour period in Vegas. Yeah. So, whatever. I'm not scared. But if we conducted our life like we were always on camera that was recording your deeds and words and all of that stuff, and it could be replayed at any point for you or your boss, or your wife, or your kids, or your parents, if they're around. The parents are watching you anyway. Okay, that may change how you respond if you're on camera. Oh, have you seen people who, right before the selfie, they're just, and all of a sudden you hold that camera up and it's like, yeah, because they're on camera. We act differently when we're on camera. So all of this makes sense, Dave. I get it. It does, Randy. So why don't we put them in place? Why don't we have a safety net? Goodness, I know in industry, if you're more than a couple of feet off the ground, you have to tie off in case you fall. It will catch you. That's literally a fail safe. All of these things, lockout, tag. Industry has 1 million of them because of OSHA and a lot of stuff, and they're good. Why don't we put these common sense things in place? Probably the biggest one, just overconfidence. That doesn't happen to me. That happens to other people. Oh. Guilty. That doesn't happen to me. Nobody, still other people's identity. Nobody ever they don't break in my house. They're not going to pee in my pool. Sorry. But that overconfidence, it keeps us from doing that. Also, just denial. I'm not going to fail. Come on, I got plenty of money. Look at my bank account. I'm good. This place will never fire me. They would crash and burn without me. Yeah, I don't need to play golf up until that fun golf trip. Man, those guys suck anyway. I'm better than they are. JoJo's been taking lessons. But just denying the possibility of failure. Yeah. Then another one, it's inconvenient. Oh, why not? My goodness. With Amazon now, if you need something, you can have it. I hit the buy now button on Amazon and my doorbell rang. They said, here you go, Dave. But some people, it's just too inconvenient. Oh, I need a wheel. Okay. Wheels are almost free now. But you need to do this. I'm going to have to do that. All right. Be stressed. Do it when you're panicked. Make preparations when you're grieving. Dude, that's ridiculous. Do fail safes. But it's inconvenient. Also, by putting a fail safe, some people feel limited by that. I don't want to have to do that. I want my options to be open. They still are. It doesn't limit your freedom. You can have more than one. If this fails, I'll do this or this. I'll do this if I'm alone. I'll do this if I have the family. Just have something in place. But I said the couple others are most common, but when I think about it, I think the biggest problem with people not doing fail safes is they just procrastinate. I'm going to get to it. Yeah, I know I should do that. I'm going to do it. Make a list when you say that, or make a list right now of 5 things. Make it 3 things that you've been putting off that you know you should do in the fail-safe department. And tomorrow, do one of them. The next day, do another. You should do them all. But I don't like telling people what they should do. Knock it out. It's a sense of relief. Then you will feel safe in that regard. If you never have to use it, perfect. People say insurance is such a risk. Oh, it's a risk. You spend all that money. And no, not having insurance is the risk. Let me tell you, I burned a couple of houses down. My wife did, but still. So how do we do it? How do we do it? I said pick 3 things and do one tomorrow. Okay, you've got to start. So 5 ways to start setting fail safes. First of all, decide now. Decide how you're going to act under stress. Here's what it's going to be. You can write it down. You can focus, but think through things. And it's not being negative. It's being realistic. But decide how you're going to act under stress. If you're with someone or someone close to your life, you may want them to know too. When this happens, here's what I'm going to do and here's why. So just know it's a fail safe. It should make you feel better. If you can automate things, big believer in automation. Paying the bills. Oh, did I pay that? Oh, did I pay that? I not only automate the bill pay, I have reminders. Hey, bill's due in 5 days. You're set up on auto pay. Giddy. Tell me when it's paid. Auto pay went through today. Don't worry about that, Dave. Great. It doesn't really say Dave, but it would. Fantastic. That's just for I'm a little crazy on stuff like that. When I get a deposit, when somebody makes a withdrawal, I have financial fail-safes all over the place for very good reason. Also, you have triggers. When this happens, I do this. When this happens, I do this. I've talked about that a ton. Same way with fail-safes. When I get this opportunity, I'm going to talk to Joe. When I get this opportunity, I'm not going to answer with a yes. Give me 24 hours. When I have a warning sign about something, maybe I'm feeling different or whatever, I probably ran across this before. Here's what I do. So you don't have to decide. It triggers an action. Yeah. And then just ask what if, just in general. Don't doom scroll or watch 2.5 Men reruns for the 1,000th time. Just as you go through your life, okay, I just did that. What if this happened? What would you do? You may have a quick answer. Boom, I've got that in place. No big deal. Fantastic. If not, all right, let me think about that. I need to put something in place. And probably the biggest thing, it's a two-edged sword. Borrow wisdom. Meaning, others made mistakes. What do you have? John doesn't have life insurance. What's Peggy going to do? We better get some life insurance. Yeah, that's a big, grave one. But also, John's yard is just beautiful. I wish our yard looked like that. However, I travel all the time and I can't do this, that, and the other. And My wife has a brown thumb. Okay, what can we do to make that happen? What do you do? What did he do? How did he treat it? It doesn't have to be life or death situations to be a fail-safe. It just has to be on your mind. It's SWD. So that's the things. And then keeping them in place once you put them there. That's important. Review them regularly. No, I'm good. How's this working? How's this working? No, it's doing pretty good. How could I change it? Do I need to change it? Are we all good? Maybe you run a practice drill with the kids or with the family or whatever. The other day, I contacted somebody who set my travel and just said, just so you know, they're not putting my number in there, so I can't check in online. No biggie. I'm no diva. I can go in, check in at the desk, get my waters, and go. All right. But it's nice if you check in online and get that digital key so you don't have to see or talk to anybody. So they said they put it in there and it's automatic through a service or whatever. Okay, fantastic. All right. Can you make this reservation? They did. Wasn't in there. So we put some fail safes in place so that when it's not in there, here's what we do. Someone else checks. Fantastic. Then again, that's no big deal. But it's just that one thing I don't have to think about. And then make fail safes visible where you can so you know they're there. That can be, I know some people who put reflective tape on their deadbolt so they can see it from across the room. They know if it's locked or unlocked. I'm not going to do that. I don't have anything against it. It's just, I would probably forget why I did that. What is that on the door? But make them visible, not only to you, but somebody else. I've got ADT stickers and ring stickers and all sorts of stuff on my windows. Anybody that comes in, they might as well break down the front door or break through the front window. If they want in, they're going to get in. However, my fail safes are visible. And then have people to ask you what's wrong. Hey, I'm doing this and I'm thinking about this. Let's check in about a month. I'll tell you how it's going, and then I can get your feedback too on what you're doing. It could be work, it could be finances, it could be whatever. Yeah. And then think about things that are going to pressure test this stuff. All right. When this happens, how's it going to react? Is it going to create other problems that I'm going to have to address? What temptations am I going to have? I can just decide not to eat Cinnabon. Okay, I cannot go in any gas stations that serve it. Well, I've got to get gas. Yeah, I'm going to have to use the bathroom. We know that. And the bathrooms, it's on the way right past it. How am I going to put a fail-safe in for that? Good luck. Email me. Tell me how. And then what if I just get tired? I got this. I don't need to keep doing that. What are the chances of that happening? Going back to overconfidence. And then with other people, I'm not going to do this. Here's why. Here's my fail safe, blah, blah, blah. Peer pressure. Going out with the boys. Going out drinking and carousing. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I'm kidding. But temptation's going to make you maybe change things. And then I think the miscellaneous column of what variables are out there. What could go wrong? What could happen? It's not being negative, but if you don't address it, that fail safe, you're not going to feel safe. You got to make sure. So let's wind this up. What do you say? Fail safes, they're not about paranoia, fear, negativity. The sky is falling, a panic room. No, they're about peace. They're about peace. Then you let go and you can live more in the moment. You can be more bold. You can take more risks. I don't know, philosophically, you can aim higher because you already know where you're going to land if things go sideways. This happens, worst case scenario, boom, because I put this in place. So build your fail safes so you'll feel safe. Tighten up your bolts here. Check that parachute. Just in case. Most parachutes have a regular parachute and an emergency parachute. I'd check them both. And then when life shakes you up and shakes your wings, you'll still land safely. And that turbulence is hitting and everything happens. The captain says everything okay. All right, okay, I feel a little better. But when you hit the ground with your landing gear, not with the fuselage, there you go. You land safely every time when you have the fail safes. So if you remember anything, decide now. So panic doesn't decide for you. That's the line I want you to take away. Decide now so panic never decides for you. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for all the support. I appreciate it. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's my father's passing or what has happened, but your comments and your charity and your sentimentality has touched me more than you'll ever know. And I appreciate it so much. Hit me up, David O Talks, david@otalks.com. Hit the website. It's all popping right now, and I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging on. And thanks for O-Talking with Dave. Giddy up.